We are coming to you from 360 Sport on Trust TV. That was a match between Kwara Under-16 versus Ekiti Under-16 taking place at the 39th edition of the Ramat Cup. Well, over there at the ancient city of Kano, that's where all the Under-16 boys are right now converging. They are playing good football, showing their talent in the world of football for Nigeria. The Youth Sport Federation of Nigeria deemed it fit to always organize this particular event to bring together all the young boys under 16 and at least make sure they play football. Well, we've been taking you around, look through their particular video. Joining me in the studio is Amechi Agbo. Good to have you.
It's a pleasure.
Well, as it is right now, we just have to look at the fact that the guys, they did well. Talking about the under-16 football, Kwara versus Ekiti there. A lot of matches will be coming up, and to also let you know that athletics will be coming up also, named after the president of the youth forum there. That's the deputy governor of Kano State, Dr. Nasiru Gauna. Well, the boys have started. Now we begin to see different actions from that angle. We have our man there, Station Abdulaziz, who will be giving us much concerning that as the event unfolds. We've been talking concerning the under-16 competition taking place in Kano. Now we leave that and quickly move straight to talk about the Nigerian National League, the NNL, the second tier of our football. We look at the results quickly as it went down in match day one. Green Berets, they picked Adamawa United. Jigawa Golden Stars against JM Liberty 2-0. Ikorodu City, it was a 0-0 against Giant Brillas. Zamfara, they lost against EFC-CFC. Ijebu United defeated Rovers by 2-0 as Osun United won against Ekiti in the Southwest Derby 2-0 also. Gateway against Campos FC as it went down. In other results quickly, we're still looking at the Nigerian National League result that actually took place there. Well, Van Dresser against Bende Insurance went 0-0. 0-0 rather. El Kanemi Warriors against Sokoto United, it was 1-1. ABS against Yobe Desert Stars, 2-0. Malum Fashi against Rose Safety ended 1-0. While DMDFC against Doma United ended 1-0 draw there. Inewi United, it was a goalless against Crown FC as FC1 Rocket pipped Apex Crane by a long goal. Well, those match results from the Nigerian National League where it has started. The business of playing football in the second tier just started. We just took all those result there, and now Amechi, the joy that these guys are back playing football in the NNL, I'm sure they can't just stop being so happy.
When you have 42 teams, clubs that will be parading over 1,000 players in the league, they should be happy because for the last 6-7 months the league has been on break, and thanks to the management that they have been able to bring the league back, and everybody is happy. It is match day one, and of course you should be expecting some results that may not favor particularly home teams. And that match between Van Dresser and Bendel Insurance, I think, to me was the high profile of the match they won. And then of course today in FCT here, KB United will be, of course, KB United has been around. They trained yesterday at the Old Parade Ground, so they'll be taking on NAF FC. Yesterday we saw City FC defeating Mighty Jets of Jos 2-0 at the same Old Parade Ground, where EFCC, of course, had a 2-1 win over Zamfara United. So Abuja-based clubs, I think, starting very well, and I hope NAF is going to consolidate on that. The match between FWC and the Oya Sports have been put on hold for circumstances beyond the NNL management's control anyway. But then, kudos to them. The basic thing is that the league is back, but it is high time that the management of this league go extra mile to bring up sponsors for this league. For how long are we going to continue to be managing our league? If we have a title sponsor, we shouldn't have wasted this period of months before the league started. So they need to work hard and get that done, and then we'll enjoy our league going forward.
Teams from Abuja, NAF FC, EFCC, don't forget the FWC champions are all participating in the Nigerian National League, the second tier of our league. Now let's go to the Apex League of Nigeria. That is NPFL, Nigerian Professional Football League. Matches were played over the weekend. 17 goals were scored. It has about 6 home wins. Let's look at those results quickly as we talk about the Nigerian Professional Football League, where Eyimba, well, against Niger Tornadoes, was a game that you just want to look at. Katsina versus Kwara United, while Rivers United did well against Wiki Tourists 3-0. Lobby Stars against MFM 2-1. You have Nasarawa United against Sunshine, also ended 1-0 draw. Enugu Rangers did well as they were able to dislodge Abia Warriors in an Oriental derby 2-1 there. Kano Pillars, shockingly, they lost against Plateau United in Kaduna. That match, a lot of people didn't believe that Plateau could do it, but they did. They won 1-0. Shooting Stars against Dakada, 1-0 against the team from Ibadan. They won against Dakada there. Remo Stars, for the 4th time in the NPFL, they lost their first game. So they are welcome to NPFL finally. Aqua United versus Heartland ended goalless. A lot of people were waiting for this. They've been waiting. How are they doing it? They played for good 11 matches and they did not lose. In fact, Rivers United lost. All the other teams lost. But Remo kept going until Gombe United. They did well by defeating Remo Stars. Now let's quickly look at the table before we go. We see the game between Aqua and Heartland. Let's look at the table as it stands now. You have Rivers United. Where right now they are topping the table with 25 points ahead. Plateau United, they've jumped to 2nd position with 24 points. Now Remo Stars, who were formerly topping the table, now they are standing tall with 23 points from 12 matches. Rangers are 4th. Have Eyimba due to the draw. Now you have Shooting Stars, Kwara United, Aqua United, Nasarawa United are standing 9th on the log with 17 points from 12 matches. And Gombe, the team that eventually caught the unbeaten run of Remo Stars, they are now standing 10th on the log with 16 points from 12 matches. Wiki Tourists of Bauchi, Lobby Stars in that pecking order down to MFM Heartland. The two teams seems to they are dragging who is going to continue to be at the bottom of the table. Heartland 19, MFM 20. Amechi.
I am not surprised over Heartland's situation because that club has been in the news for everything but good in terms of good management, and thank God that news sufficed before their match against Aqua United, the government of the state who backrolls the club has been able to release some funds for them for the payment of their over 5-6 months arrears. So for them pulling a draw against the defending champions, I think you can see what the power of money can do anyway. Whether they have been paid is a different story. But the fact is that I think our league is getting interesting. Niger Tornadoes, new returnees going to about to hold the 8-time champions and the most successful club in the league to ransom 1-0. I think commendable one for them. And then you see Rangers that have been playing in an unfancied field where they are temporary home adopted field of FC Ifeanyi. They have been doing poor, very, very poor in that Nnewi, field. Right? Yes, Nnewi, because of the poor nature of the playing turf. They came from behind yesterday to win against Abia Warriors. Commendable ones for them. And then talking about Gombe United, I think that was the surprising result for me because Remo Stars played Rangers, held them a draw. Played Rivers United, held them a draw. Played, I think, Abia Warriors, held them to a draw. None of these clubs and I think Plateau United were able to break them down, except Gombe United. Both of them are new returnees to the league, and the Gombe United did what those big boys couldn't do. So commendations to them. And to Remo Stars, I think Coach Ogumbote has been able to do a wonderful job with the team. Going all this way this far before they could test a defeat in the league is a good one for them.
And you look at the fact that Coach Zubero was the one that finally broke the deadlock of unbeaten run of Remo Stars. Now that this loss came to that team, I'm sure other teams will be like, okay, we too can do this. I just hope they will not.
I even see the loss to Gombe United from the positive perspective, because when you are going unbeaten on the league, you have double pressure to work for. One, you have to work on tactics not to lose. You want to maintain that pedigree of not losing, maintain your unbeaten run. So the unbeaten run status comes with its own unnecessary, quote, unnecessary pressure on the team, because you have to do everything extra to maintain that unbeaten run. Even if it means going for a draw. Even in a match, ordinarily you can open up to go for a win. So I think it opens the game for them. They can now come out freely and express themselves and see what happens.
Good one there. We've been looking at the NPFL. Earlier on, we looked at the NNL, the second tier of our league, and now we're looking at NPFL. Remo Stars, finally, they've been beaten by Gombe United, broke that particular record. They were running away with playing 11 matches without losing, coming from the NNL. Now, the team that defeated them also came from NNL, so they know themselves it has happened. Well, that's football. We just have to look at the fact that NPFL is they are closing it little by little. 12 games now played, and the big boys are beginning to arrange themselves. Rivers, Plateau United, Remo Stars, and you have to give it also Rangers and Enyimba International, Nasarawa United, all the teams that have been playing. Let's go on a short break as we look at the games that was played over the weekend. Aqua versus Atlant, and we also see Nasarawa versus Sunshine.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are in here for today's NPFL and other match officials on the two sets of...
Good one there. Well, the Atlant versus Aqua United, defending champion. It was a drama with that penalty that you just saw in that particular encounter there. Well, we're supposed to look at Nasarawa United versus Sunshine Stars. If you can still have it, we'll be glad to look at that particular game again that took place in Lafia, forgetting the fact that even though Aqua United, when you look at that particular penalty that was just played, how did you see that particular game? Seriously.
It's very theatrical and dramatic to say, because I was just wondering what was in the mind of the penalty kicker, because at the end of the day, he ended up missing that spot because he was confused. So I think and for the fact that he missed that penalty, it cost somebody his job, and that was why immediately after that match, their coach, Aqua United coach, Kennedy Babori, threw in the towel. He resigned immediately, and he cited poor performances of the team in recent outings as the reason why he is stepping aside. So I think players have to be very serious in a match of this magnitude. 3 points is at stake. You don't undermine anything. You just be serious and play. Well, that's why you say you go to Europe. Of course, you go to Europe, you see players who who dribbled the keeper in terms of penalty kicks. But somebody like Lampard, that's why I respect him. You hardly see him miss a penalty. When it comes to penalty kick, he gives you the shot. Hold it to your own peril. But the one thing is just do the target and then shoot the ball, and then it goes in. But this one, you came first one, you hold on. You came the second one, you hold on. At the end of the day, you miss that penalty shot. So it's just, I've just thank God that it is no longer the time we used to hear stories, negative stories about the league. But this type of a situation is one that can provoke the fans, and somebody will start hearing stories that we do not like to see in the league.
We've been looking at the fact that, well, Aqua United versus Heartland ended in a draw. But the former coach, well, Kenny Boboye, has thrown the towel now. He said he's no longer going to be the coach of that team, and he has resigned. That news has been going around. Aqua United will have to look for another coach if they want to do well. They are the defending champion, but lately their performance have not been too good to write home about. Now we move away from the NPFL. We've talked about the league table. We looked at the result and also some action of football there, where that penalty was just a drama. Now let's go straight to talk about a Nigerian who did well over the weekend. Yes, a lot of people just have to say that he's a Nigerian. Adesanya is a Nigerian name, even though he's a New Zealander. He was able to win his rematch fight against Robert Whittaker over there in Houston, Texas. They had a 271 UFC 271 fight, a rematch after defeating in the first leg, and now the second leg came on, and Adesanya also did well by unanimous decision coming from the judges. But this time around, Whittaker closed the gap. He wasn't as overwhelmed like he was in the first bout. But this time around, despite him closing the gap against Adesanya, he still lost on unanimous decision.
The first round last year was a knockout. And this second round, I think he gave Adesanya a run for his money. So I think we can see there is a huge close-up, which means Adesanya need to work extremely harder, because if they are going to play another match or they are going to fight again, it is not going to be easy and it's not going to be funny. But then, as champions, every other person will work extremely hard to defeat you. So it's left for you to see what you are going to do to maintain that status quo and the pedigree you have achieved. To Adesanya, congratulations to him. And the only issue I have is that our sports federations and presidents and secretaries and the sports ministry, we need to do extremely harder. Seeing most of our bright athletes featuring for other nations instead of Nigeria, I think breaks my heart, because we have what it takes to develop, to nurture, to develop superstars in this country. If we can do the right thing, if we can provide the infrastructure, if we can provide the leadership system, if we can provide the enabling environment for these people to thrive, I think we can get a long way. We mustn't be celebrating people that have, because they had the opportunity to be outside there in another country, they all of a sudden become superstars, and we begin to identify with them. We can do it here and then take these stars to the global community instead of being the other way around. As
it is right now, two Nigerians are really doing well in Ultimate Fight Championship, talking about the UFC 268 and 271, Adesanya Israel, and also not forgetting Kamaru Usman, who also defended his own belt. Well, these guys are really doing well when it comes to the middleweight and the welterweight. UFC, Nigerians doing well. We have also a Cameroonian, Frank Ngannou. You just have to look at Francis Ngannou, who is also doing well in that sport. Africans really dominate UFC. We have another guy from Nigeria. His name is Sadiq, who is also doing well in UFC. Not forgetting Kamaru Usman's younger brother, who is also doing so well, Muhammad Usman. All these guys are really making UFC a Nigerian or an African sport. We've been looking at UFC, where Adesanya won his fight, and now we quickly look at the English Premier League. Well, matches were played, but the shocking result that come from English Premier League. Let's look at the result of the EPL. Tottenham Hotspur versus Wolverhampton. It was a result that a lot of people were not expecting that. Well, Tottenham lost over there in London against Wolves. It was a shocking defeat. Leicester 2-2 against West Ham. Burnley, Liverpool, they did it. Just have to give it up to Manchester City, walloping Norwich City by 4-0. Brighton and Hove Albion 2-0 against Watford. Manchester United, again, a draw against Southampton. Brentford, goalless against Crystal Palace. And Everton, Frank Lampard, good one for him to have won this game against Leeds United. It was 3-0 at the Goodison Park. And you look at all these, you have to appreciate all the teams that play. But Wolverhampton, Tottenham, Amechi, this is for.
I think it is a justification that Mourinho was not actually the problem at White Hart Lane, and I think the players are mentally weak in terms of playing matches, because if you look at the results so far since Mourinho left, and then bringing in Antonio Conte, we all know is a tactician. The results have not been going their way. I think there was one match they played in Europa Cup that an unknown team, I can't remember the name exactly, beat them 2-1 unexpectedly though. And then we have Wolves beating them 2-0 yesterday. I think a lot of things are fundamentally wrong in that club, and it has to do with the personnel in the team. It is time, I think, Antonio Conte either need to rejig his team, or the owner of the club needs to overhaul that team and bring in players to play. I was surprised again. Retaining a Harry Kane in that club was to me a big minus. It was a big minus
let him go when he
you are keeping the player against his will. You cannot get the best from him, no matter how professional he wants to be. You don't do that. Allow him go. He has expressed his willingness to leave the club. Let him go. Bring in somebody and work with the person that can give you 100%. No matter how much effort Harry Kane puts in, it's not going to be enough. And the team right now is mentally weak, as I said earlier. And Antonio Conte has to do extra mile to see what they can achieve within the remaining parts of the season. But the truth of the matter is, this is not the Tottenham everybody expected to see under Antonio Conte, which means he has a lot of work to do.
Well, talking about the English Premier League, Tottenham Hotspur being beaten by Wolverhampton Wanderers. It was a shocking defeat for that team. We've been looking at that. Now, if you look at the fact that Newcastle, well, they are beginning to make some statements. If you look at the bottom of the table there, now Newcastle right now, they begin to move up. Let's see what they can do if really they'll be able to get out of that particular position. Now they are standing 17 on the log. Norwich, Watford, Burnley in that pecking order. You have the bottom 6 for you there. Match day 25, Leeds United, Everton, Newcastle. I see them, those two teams will actually move up from that position.
Well, I think Lampard has a lot of work to do about concerning Everton. This is the first time in many years that Everton is going to be a relegation battler. I think it's not good for him. And then if you consider his first match, he lost his first match by 3-1. And then yesterday he rose up and then won 3-0. So it's a good one, good starting for him, and I hope he's going to lead them out of danger. But my concern is, of course, the position of Manchester United. They took the lead again in that match, and then they allowed Southampton to level up, and they ended that match in a draw. And then there was a particular player that also stole the headline that yesterday. I do not know why. Cristiano Ronaldo. It means there is a fundamental problem in that team. Why is everything centering around Ronaldo? This is what I do not like about him personally, though, because if you look at him at Real Madrid, it is about Cristiano Ronaldo. If you look at him at Juventus, it's about Cristiano Ronaldo. My worry at Juventus was the fact that Juventus had a young Dybala that was banging in goal in and out weekly. But when Cristiano Ronaldo came, that guy went into oblivion. It was all about Cristiano Ronaldo. And one thing is, when you continue to highlight the importance of one particular player over every other player in a team of 11 players, it is going to morally bring down the mentality of other players in that team.
Okay, I agree with you, but at times, this player has been exceptionally outstanding.
Exceptionally outstanding for 6 matches, has not given an assist. For 6 matches, has not scored.
What about the ones he did?
Now,
taking it on, Amechi Agbo there. Well, Lionel Messi to enjoy that while he was in Barcelona. Despite Xavi and Iniesta being there, he was the star, man. You can't take that away from some players. No matter how it is, Ronaldo, we know, is a crowd puller. You just can't take some things away from some people. It's just grace. Let me just use that word. At times, you try to see how you can stop it, but you can't just stop. No one is as popular as Ronaldo in that.
But he is disenfranchised, disenchanted at the moment because he's not a happy player. And there is discussion whether he's going to remain in the club at the end of the season or not.
We'll get back to that. He will score. Don't worry. Don't just let Ronaldo's performance be the one affecting that team. Things must just be done right. We are almost running out of our time. But before we go, let's look at Bundesliga. Well, for the first time, Bayern Munich, they lost their game against Bochum 1848. It was a defeat that nobody expected. The 4-2, they lost that game. That's football. Bayern Munich. Nobody expected it.
That's the beauty of football. When you expect a particular team to do something, they leave you disappointed. But then a team that just got promoted to the league, Bochum, defeating Bayern Munich 2-0, 4-0, I think, 4-2, I beg your pardon, is a commendable one for them, and take it to boost the morale of the players going forward.
We just have to, our time is really up now. But before we go, we have to celebrate Chelsea. Chelsea winning the Club World Cup for the first time in the history of that club. They've been doing so well in other cups, but now, finally, they have it. And they are celebrating. Well, I think right now, Thomas Tuchel has made history for that team.
Yeah, three big trophies for him in 13 months, and then I think again Kai Havertz came to the party, scored the winning goal, the only goal for against Man City in the UEFA Champions League final, and then against Palmeiras, of course, he scored the winning penalty. So, commendation for Chelsea, and I think to me, Thomas Tuchel is the greatest manager in Chelsea ahead of Mourinho, because he has done what Mourinho couldn't do.
Wow.
But the only thing is, how long is it going to take him to win the league? This year, of course, mathematically is out of him, but next season, perhaps anything is possible.
We wait to see what's going to happen from Chelsea players, how they will respond after winning the Club World Cup, celebrating that. Eduardo Mendy has so much really done well for himself, joining that club. Well, that's it on 360 Sport on Trust TV. It's been a wonderful time with Amechi Agbo. Thank you for coming on.
It's always a pleasure. Thank you so much, sir.
Well, as we always say, that sport is fitness and business. I am Adeni Ajishafe. Thanks for watching.